Number 10. Lesson 5. Unification of the sciences of both dimensions. Modern worldview. In order to be able to answer the question once and for all, how the universes and multiverses, or more generally, existence was created, the mystical considerations must be combined with appropriate scientific theories. The mere fact that the soul is not visible does not mean that it does not exist. When studying the regulation of human gene expression, for example in transcription, we can describe how the polymerase molecule binds to a DNA region called promoter, and in which the correct sequence of the gene to be transcribed in one closed circle is astonishingly one molecule protein responsible for the activity of another protein. In addition, a lot of proteins and enzymes such as enhancers, silencers, transcription factors, etc. also take part in this play. In my opinion, this is an incomplete scientific study. In spite of this, no scientist is ready to accept the fact that a kind of quantum intelligence controls the whole process. Thinking about what happened during the Big Bang, scientists provide a rather weak quantum vacuum theory that is not even able to explain where the dirt effect, which destroyed the symmetry between electrons and positrons, came from. We have to accept the fact that science is able to theorize the origin of the universes only from the Big Bang. In order to determine what happened before the Big Bang, science needs the spiritual physical definitions from a first reliable source. Until the present day, there has been no scientifically acceptable, sensible, meaningful, tangible and complete description that would be technically compatible with natural science and able to start where the natural sciences could not take a step forward. On the other hand, there were some real mystics who acquired immaterial wisdom through a disciplined way of life in their earthly lives with the help of divine teachings, which were put together by very rare masters, namely, manifestations of God. This type of self-control led to a special mental connection with the immaterial world, so that the person who had experienced it could, with a kind of enlightenment and in accordance with their soul rank, analyze the phenomena and intangible truths of this world. This way of understanding is a higher order of understanding than academic science. That is the reason why the mystical and scientific considerations have gone two different ways. In this context, only a perfect personality who is commissioned by God and is also a manifestation of God can provide the most diverse and complete definition of existence. It should not be forgotten that the whole of existence is a gigantic structure, the substances of which, among other things, the fermions, antifermions, and bosons, are connected to one another like the structure of a carpet. Therefore, we are not allowed to observe and to examine natural phenomena only in one aspect and in one dimension, because we must also have information about the other dimension of matter. The movement of an electron appears to be unpredictable in our studies, because we have not seriously considered the whole truth and meaning of creation. What I learned from Ustad Elahi's teachings is that the sciences of both dimensions must work together from now on. In my opinion, the creation report provided by Ustad Elahi and the information from other parts of his teachings regarding the origin of existence have the necessary potential to fulfill exactly this claim. Thales has claimed that the whole of existence is full of God, and the elementary particle physicists are convinced that the whole universe is full of particles and antiparticles. My goal is to show how the two claims can match in everything that is necessary to know in this context. Particles. General information. In particle physics, elementary particles generally means the smallest fundamental building blocks of matter. Democritus postulated atomic theory 400 years before Christ. According to this theory, matter consists of the smallest particles, namely atoms, that are no longer divisible. This theory was, among other things, initially confirmed by the development of chemistry in the 18th century. It wasn't until the beginning of the 20th century that it was discovered that atoms consist of an atomic nucleus, which in turn consists of smaller particles that were later called nucleons, i.e., protons and neutrons. In the course of time, scientists have discovered other particles such as the pion, muon, kaon, etc., and also antiparticles when examining the atomic nucleus and researching cosmic rays. Through these and similar discoveries, scientists have noticed that nucleons are made up of other particles. These particles were generally called fermions because of Enrico Fermi. Further investigations and observations of the fermions led to the subdivision of these particles into quarks and leptons. What differentiates them from each other are the quantum physical properties such as charge and mass. With the birth of elementary particle physics, the door to a new world was opened. Although this area of natural science has unfortunately not yet been able to elucidate the process of the creation of the universe, one can do a lot with the results of elementary particle physics in this book. Although it can get a little bit boring, in order to understand both dimensions, it is imperative that we familiarize ourselves with some terms from the field of particle physics, also because they will appear again and again in this chapter. In this context, before we go into the topic more intensively, I would like to draw your attention, dear readers, to the following. To avoid the definitions, descriptions, and explanations becoming so complicated that they can only be understood by experts, I try to avoid using technical words, expressions, and sentences. This does not affect the level of content of the book because discussions provide us with valuable information that is not dependent on technical terms. It is more important to me that the meaning of the theses described and explained here will be comprehensively understood. Research and study. Farah Mars Tabish. Main source, the book Biology of the Quantum Dimension, by Farah Mars Tabish. Next subject, definition of some necessary particle physical terms.